Do you have any of the Psalms that just feel like, man, the author is reading my mail? They must have known what I was going through somehow when they wrote this, because it feels like they're speaking to an experience that I've had before. Because of that, sometimes there's these Psalms that just stick with us that we can't even fully describe why, but I love that there's the reason that the Psalms are in Scripture, because they remind us of the human experience and all of the things that we experience in this life and all of the ways in which we can sometimes respond to it. And it gives us a beautiful roadmap that in the midst of the mess and the confusion and these seasons that can feel so disorienting, that they're also beautifully anchored in the hope of who God is. I love Psalm 62 for really honestly no other reason than the fact that it's just brutally honest. That David starts by talking about truth of who God is. In verse 1, he says, "For God alone my soul waits in silence. From him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken." He starts by just talking about the truth of who God is, how he is his only refuge and his hope and his salvation. And then he turns to start talking to his enemies. "How long will all of you attack a man to batter him? Like a leaning wall, a tottering fence, they only plan to thrust him down from his high position. They take pleasure in falsehood. They bless with their mouths, but inwardly they curse." You see, he's speaking to this opposition that he's facing, feeling like everyone is against him. But I love this turn that happens in verse 5, where if you'll notice, figure out who is he speaking to. "For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence. For my hope is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be shaken. On God rests my salvation and my glory. My mighty rock, my refuge is in God." See, it seems at first like he's just repeating himself from the first couple verses, but notice something different. He's not just stating truth, he's speaking directly to his soul. "For God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from him." See, what I love about the Psalms, and even specifically some of the Psalms of David, is that they remind us that while we might know something to be true, especially in seasons that are confusing in life, where we feel like we might have lost sight of the hope of who God is, that there are times where we have to speak directly to our soul and remind our soul to live into that truth. That he's reminding his soul what he even said in verses 1 and 2, who God is, how he is our refuge and our strength and our only source of salvation. He then goes on to tell the people, "Trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your hearts before him, for God is a refuge for us." That before he can even go out and deliver hope to other people, he has to first speak to his own soul to be reminded of what's true. Recently, I had the privilege of getting to hear a testimony of a girl who was graduating this year. And as she shared her story, one of immense pain and suffering, she shared this incredible statement that stuck with me. That she said, "I found myself at rock bottom, but what I found was that Jesus was the rock at the bottom." For so many of us, I think we need to remind our souls, especially in seasons of darkness, not only what is true, but then to remind our souls to live into the truth of who God is. And so I don't know where you find yourself today, even as you watch this, or what situation you find yourself thinking about as you read the Psalms. But would you be encouraged that we can remind our souls of what is true and remind our souls to live into it, knowing that God continues to be who he says he is, our only source of hope and refuge.